Good morning students, welcome back once again to my video. This is for standard 3 science chapter 2 animals and plants. Animals and plants. So student, you can see it is given in your book. One activity is given here. These are jumble word. These are jumble word. These word, when we do the correct word, when we put the correct word here, we will get the things that animal need to live. We will get the things that animal need to live. This is DOOF, means it will be food. This one it will be water. Here it will be shelter, and the last one will be air. These are the four things that animal need to live. Now, in order to live and grow, plants and animal have certain needs. Now, if the plants and animal have to live and grow, they have certain needs. Plants and animal, they are look different. Plants and animal, they may look different from each other, but there are many similarities between them. Plants and animals, they are not similar. They do not look similar to each other, but there are many difference or similarities between them. There are many similarities between them. They carry out similar life process. The life process for both plants and animal are similar. What are the life process that are similar in plants and animal? First is movement. Second one, growth, need for food, breathing, responding to the changes, reproduction and excretion. What are the life process needed by both plants and animal? Movement, growth, need for food, breathing, responding to the changes, reproduction and excretion. First, similarities that animals and plant have. First is movement. As we know, animals are free to move anywhere. Animals are free to move anywhere. They move for what? In search of food, shelter and protect themselves from their enemies. So animal, they can move freely anywhere. Why they are moving? In search of food, shelter and protect themselves from enemies. On the other hand, plants are rooted in one place and do not move on their own. Plants, you have seen the plants, they are uprooted in the ground, means their roots are under the ground, so they cannot move on their own. So plant cannot move on their own. When they cannot move on their own, then how they will take or they will make their food? But they shows movement in special ways. So plant, they should movement in special ways, like roots of plant. Where they moves below the ground. Mimosa plant, that is touch me not plant. If you they have their leaves are very sensitive. If you touch the leaves of this plant, it will close its leaves quickly. Second one, growth. Movement, I told you. Second part is the growth. Babies of human being and animals grow into adult. Babies of human being and animals grow into adult. Sapling grows into tree. Example here, see, you can see a human being baby grows into an adult. See, small baby slowly growing up and becoming an adult. Same way, sapling grows and becomes a tree. You can see a small seed, sapling, slowly, and at last it is becoming a big tree. This is the process how these plant animals plants show their growth. Third point, obtaining food. Third point is obtaining food. Now food, which is very essential not only for plants and animal but for all living beings. Without food, no living being can survive. Animals cannot make their own food. Animals cannot make their own food. They depend on plants or other animal for food. Animals, they cannot prepare their own food. That is why they depend on plants and other animals for food. Some animals such as cow and elephant eat plants. Some animals such as lion and tiger eat flesh of other animals. So third point, obtaining food. Food, which is very essential for all living being. So animals cannot prepare the food. So animals cannot prepare their own food, whereas plants, what they can do, they can prepare their own food. Animals, what they do, they depend on plants or some other animals for their food. Example, cow and elephant, what they eat plants, whereas lion, tiger, they eat flesh of other animals. Green plants make their own food. Just I told you in the previous page that plants, they can make their own food. The leaves of a plant, what they do, they prepare food for the plant by the process called photosynthesis. By the process called photosynthesis, food prepared by plants is stored in its fruits and other parts. Whatever food the plant is preparing, it is stored in its fruits and other parts. The food that is prepared by plants is stored in its fruits and other plants. See, you can see the plant here growing and storing the food here in this food. Next, breathing. Next is breathing. Living things breathe air. Living things breathe air. Air helps to release energy required to do any work. This air, why it is told that air is needed to release energy? Because when we are eating food, this air is entering into our stomach, and the food that we are eating, it is broken down and energy is liberated. Some animals such as lions, cows, bird, whales and human being breathe through their lungs. They breathe through their lungs. Animals such as frog and earthworm, they don't have lungs but breathe through their skin. Animals such as frog and earthworm, they breathe through their skin. Fishes breathe through their gills. You can see fish, they have gills here. Fishes, they have gills in this part. Insect, they have air holes on their bodies called spiracles to breathe. Now these insect, what they have air holes. You can see here small holes are there. These holes are called the spiracles. These holes helps insect to breathe through these. Plants breathe through the tiny openings present in their leaves. Plants, what they do, they breathe through the tiny openings that is present